Okay, my gorgeous listeners, before we dive into today's episode, I want to give you a little disclaimer. We are going to be talking about subjects you might not want your kids listening to. So pop in your headphones or listen in your car where no one is with you, or just do what you're going to do. But don't say I didn't warn you. All right, let's do this. Feminine Rebellion listeners, today we're going to have a conversation that is going to push you to your edge. And it is going to be so deep and so delicious and so juicy and hopefully leave you curious, open-minded, and maybe even willing to dip your toe into open relationships. Welcome to the Feminine Rebellion. I am your host, Natty Frasca, pleasure coach, rebel rouser, and midlife expert. I am on a mission to guide midlife women back into dangerously awake, deeply purposeful, and pleasure-filled lives. Together, we break free from the bullshit conditioning, reconnect with desire, and create lives that feel like a full body fuck yes. Let's dive in. Today, I have Jennifer Callow. She is the host of the Open Bedroom podcast. She's a dog mom, a human teenage boy mom, life partner to Scott, multi-million-dollar revenue generator. She's the real fucking deal. Real classy lady. She is a certified sex and relationship coach specializing in helping couples open their relationships, consciously uncouple, online dating and open relationships, and navigating sexual issues. Jennifer Callow, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have been looking forward to this conversation since like the first time we became friends on Instagram. I fucking adore you. Welcome to the Feminine Rebellion. And
thank you for having me on.
yeah, we are going to turn each other on today. And I'm so thrilled to have you here. And let's just jump right in because you are this professional, ambitious, super high achieving woman. I want to know, and everyone else wants to know, how the hell did you find yourself in an open relationship? Like, tell us the backstory because, like, it's such a taboo topic. It's something that's, like, happening underneath the surface of people's lives that no one's talking about. So, spill the beans for us.
Okay, well, will do. Thank you for that intro, by the way.
You're welcome.
So I'm currently sitting at 41. I'll be 42 this year. And I realized as I was, coming up to 40, towards the edges of my 30s, that I hadn't experienced much sexually. I had been with 2 husbands, each for a decade. I'd had sex in really 1 or 2 positions for 20 years. And although I would tell my friends I have a great sex life, it was because I would beg for frequency and I knew how to get myself off. But I had this aha moment. You know those moments that we have as women where the veil falls to the ground and all of a sudden these things that you've been telling yourself or the way you've been seeing your world, the world changes and all of a sudden you're seeing reality. And what I saw was I was married to an incredibly docile human, which I ordered from the cafeteria of the universe because I needed that after my first marriage. But he was completely unwilling to be any kind of adventurous sexually. And so we went to therapy. I begged for different positions. I begged for enthusiasm, for desire, for all of the things. And I had this moment where I sat with myself and I thought, I'm going to die having had sex in 2 positions my entire life. Like I'm going to die. And I was feeling all of this like sexual expression start to bubble up and like I want to try new things and I want to go buy vibrators and like I really want to harness my sexuality before it's all gone, right? Because we're told you go through menopause and you're dead and you don't want to have sex ever again. And so that was really the beginning of my journey of finding the therapist. She happened to be a polyamorous one. I knew I didn't want someone. We have a very religious area that we live in. So most of them are very Christian. And I knew I wanted someone that at least was an open thinker. And then that kind of led me down the spiral to asking my husband for an open relationship when we kind of got to the edge of what he was comfortable with and his
Mm.
hard no. And his hard no was kind of this Madonna whore complex. Like, you're my perfect, beautiful, precious, sacred wife. I couldn't
Ah.
do those things with you. And
Oh, what a
so we got,
shame.
I know. So we got to the edge of that wall, and my therapist looks at me and he's in front of her, and she says, this is going to take years to crack this nut. There's so much under the surface for him. There's years of trauma. He has years of blackout. Like, there's a lot that he doesn't even understand is there. Are
Mm.
you willing to wait? And I had
Mm.
already spent years waiting and asking and therapizing and all of
Yeah.
that. And I said, no. And he looked at me and said, I'm afraid if we do this, we'll get divorced. And I said, if we don't do this, we'll
Well,
get divorced.
wow. Jennifer, first of all, awesome fucking therapist who called that out. And what amazing clarity you had. Like, what was it? Like, you just had this burning desire. You were no longer willing to settle. Like, what was that like?
Do you know
How?
what happened?
Tell
It
me.
was fucking Gwyneth Paltrow's Sex, Love, and Goop on Netflix.
Oh
Did you see
my
that?
God. Saw that. Of course I
It was the
did.
Ian and Jaya episode, which
Yes.
has like the African American couple. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember watching them do this erotic energy exchange with this couple where
Yes.
she's orgasming on the table and no one's even touching her. And I
Yes.
was just like, oh, what is this? Who are these people?
I
And
want
I
that.
like joined the course. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's you peel back that onion. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's available. That's
I'm
available.
not, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
No, you can't. And so as I started to kind of mentally explore by myself solo of what's in these this was before I'd even found FetLife. I was
Yeah.
just like, what is tantra? Erotic massage,
Sign
hot
me
wax
up.
candles. Yeah, like I just didn't even know any of this was possible. And there's so
Mm.
many people too in their program that don't even know how to ask their husbands or wives for what they want, or don't even
Yes.
know how to, very basic things. So I think
Yes.
I just needed to see that and kind of go through their program and start to understand what was available. That gave me not only the bravery, but the words of how to
Yes.
come then to my partner and say, I think I want these things. And he was
And
like,
the
what?
permission to feel like you're not alone.
Hmm.
To see that there are like it's not dirty, right? Like, we live in this culture where it's like sex is supposed to be, this very kind of almost stale, boring thing, when really we're supposed to be engaging every single one of our senses, and it can last for hours, and it should be this deep, intimate exploration of you and the person or people that you're with. Like, it should be totally expansive. And
I love what you just said, because when I did start to date people, men in particular,
yeah.
my very first 1 and 2 experiences were 3+ hours of sex, and I
Mhm.
remember driving home and thinking, "I've had sex like a teenager for 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me that I would think that that's okay?" And I just didn't know. And to be truthfully honest, I think a lot of us that have been in marriages or long-term relationships with another person, you're not forced to up level. You're not forced to take a class or a program or read a book.
Right.
And unless it's innate inside of you that there's a problem or that you just want to be better at sex, we have sex like we're 16. We
Yes.
fumble around. The guy, gets excited. We have sex really for the guy till he gets
Yes.
off, and then we're done because he's then distracted and wants to turn on ESPN or whatever. And then it's like less than 20 minutes, and most of
Yeah,
the
no
time the
thanks.
women never get off. Or like me, I figured it out early in life, and so I'm getting my own self off. But it's holy fuck, when I started having sex with men who were really attuned to not only my
Mm.
body but their body and what was possible, and being multiple orgasmic as a man, I
Mm.
was like,
Mm.
I'm in like grad school here. And then realizing that a lot of men can do this. And I just kept attracting in these men and different partners that were incredible in the bedroom. And just now, this part of me, at 41 is like, God, I short sighted myself. Like I shortchanged myself for
Well,
so
I would
many
say
years
society
accepting.
shortchanged you,
Well, totally. I agree.
right?
Hmm.
So let's just define for our listeners what an open relationship is. What does that mean?
Great question. Most of us, you'll hear termed as ethically non monogamous, but an open relationship could be you just cheating, right? It means you and your
Yeah.
partner are not closed. Closed would be it's just the two of you. So an
Right.
open relationship could mean anybody is seeing someone else or sleeping with someone else outside of their relationship. Obviously, if you're listening to this show, you're probably part of the crowd that wants to be ENM, wants to be ethically non-monogamous. And then within that, there's several different dynamics that fall. I think we're most aware of swinging because that's what we see in movies, and that's kind of like, oh, we're just going to go have fun and find someone to fuck and then that'll be it. Or like,
Right.
hey, let's have a
We go to a sex
threesome.
party
Yeah,
or
or
something
even
like
just
that.
to me the threesome is like the lowest hanging fruit and usually the first thing people go after. Like, wouldn't it be fun to like add another woman in, or like wouldn't it be
Yes.
fun to add another guy
Yes.
in? And so you try to find somebody to do that. Usually it's like a best friend or it's somebody you went to high school with or like
Yeah.
whatever. And
Or
usually
someone
that's
you meet
not.
on field.
Well, I was going to say that those are not always the best choices when it's
Yeah.
someone because that can go very terribly wrong and ruin your relationship with them. But yeah, or you get on Field or Bumble and you find someone. So there's swinging, there's polyamory. So for some of us, like me, you love to love. You love the relationship side. It's yummy and delicious, and you want to fall in love with other people, and your partner is okay with that and excited about that, and maybe they love them too. And then there's like this kind of hybrid where, like, I have one partner of mine, she has a comet partner. So she's polyamorous, meaning she has multiple partners that she sees often, or
Mhm.
regularly. And one of them is called a comet partner. So she only sees him once or twice a year. She'll go to his town
Oh,
or he'll go to
comet,
her town. Comet.
COMET, like the
Hmm.
comet that comes. Oh my god, like the
Yeah.
astrological. Oh
Yeah,
my
so you can
god.
kind of be too a little bit of a hybrid. Like, there's been a few times within our polyamorous journey where we call ourselves monogamish. So we're definitely more
Mhm.
monogamous than we are, with partners. That's been a kind of a hybrid. The other thing is sometimes we get a little bit bored, or Scott gets a little bit bored with our just regular partners, and so he'll be
Mhm.
like, can we just like have an adventure? Like, or you're on vacation and you're like, I'm in
Yeah.
Ireland, we're on Field, there's somebody a mile away that would be a great match. Let's go have fun
Let's
tonight.
play.
Yeah.
And so, okay. So how would you define your relationship today?
Okay. Ours is, I think, pretty unique in that we are polyamorous. So we're looking for a longtime partner. We only date women,
One long-term partner or
one or
multiple?
two
Okay.
is fine.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So we love it. We love a good throuple. So
Mhm.
we like long term partners. We only date women. I do not
Okay.
date men. And we only date together. And that's the kicker. So, what I
Mm.
see a lot in open relationships, and there's nothing wrong with any of this, this is just our particular dynamic. I see a lot of times the husband has a girlfriend or two, or the wife has a boyfriend or two, or if they're swingers, they're seeing other people just kind of whenever. We have found for our relationship that when we're dating a person together, it actually brings us together as a couple. We
Mm.
love dating the same woman.
I love that.
It's super yummy.
It sounds really beautiful. And then to, like, leave a date and come home and talk about how it went, or
Mhm.
to just wake up together and to have that shared intimacy. And so this brings me to something that every single person who is listening to this is gonna ask, and that is, and we've talked about this before, that
Mhm.
theme of jealousy, right?
Mhm.
So just say I've been married 23 years and we enter into E&M. We're in this polyamorous world and we invite in a third.
Mhm.
Like, how have you, because I can already if I imagine my husband with another woman, there's a mix of feelings,
Yeah.
to be honest. One is excitement, right? Like, and turn on,
Mhm.
because I'm a bit of a voyeur. So I'm like, this is like,
Same.
that's very kind of exciting, but also it's tinged with like this like underbelly of jealousy and like a weird
Mhm.
feeling in my body. Like, is he enjoying her more than he enjoys me? Does she give him things that I can't give him? Or,
Mm.
is her ass rounder, or is she younger, or her tits higher? Like all of all of these
Mhm.
things, when I imagine it start to bubble up. So how, and I'm sure that's normal,
Mhm.
I'm assuming. How do you navigate that?
I'm so glad you brought this up because I have a lot of responses to all of it. So I guess let's start with the reason that we only date together is because we've made kind of this guiding direction or rule within our own relationship that says, look, if being open isn't bringing us closer together, we're not doing it. And so
Mm,
we do find, and we've never not dated together, but the idea of not dating together. Let me tell you, I have podcast episodes that's like when they want to date your partner and not you, because it's a real thing.
yeah.
People love Scott.
Yeah.
Women love Scott. He's got a lot of testosterone. He's got a beard. And he's got this yummy kind of Viking look, and
Mm.
women love that. And then they look
Bring
at
him on.
me,
Bring him on. Just kidding.
right? He'd love that too. He loves to be on podcasts, but he then they look at me, and that's a whole nother thing, right? Because to want to be a woman and want to be with another woman is a whole nother world. It is a
Mm,
different world to fuck another woman, to date another woman, to
mhm.
be romantic with another woman. So we're looking not only for all these things, but also a bisexual woman. So we've also
Right.
decided we don't like a V. I don't like when a woman only wants to be with Scott. And
Right.
so he fucks her and then he fucks me and we lay next to each other. It feels fucking weird. I don't like it.
Yes.
I want someone that is just as turned on by me and wants to be with me as with him. So I
Mm.
feel like we've created the most difficult dynamic on the planet, although it works. And we still magnetize people in like crazy because we're awesome and
Well,
we're really, 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 really
yeah.
good to our girlfriends.
So this must have how long, I guess is the question, did it take you um to kind of figure out what the right mix or what the right dynamic was? And I guess this probably leads into how you're guiding other couples
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
kind of starting the process.
I would say this whole thing is an evolution for everybody
Mm.
because the way that we are open is not going to be the same that you are open. I loved that you just brought up, that me thinking about my husband with another woman does multiple things to me. It A turns me on, but B it also makes me feel jealousy. And then I think about comparison. And what you didn't bring up was like the thought of, well, what if he leaves me for her? Right. Which is
Mm.
usually a really big
Oh,
thing
he'd
that
never
comes up
fucking
for
leave.
women. I love that. I love that confidence. For us, it definitely took many months, maybe 6+ months. And it also took being in it to feel it out. So, like when we first started, I was used to dating men. So, let me just quickly back up and say, we had the therapist moment in that office. I was like, I'm going to have to be open or this marriage is over anyway. And
Mm.
so we literally left that office with permission to each other to go get on dating apps. I got on Tinder that afternoon. I had a date the next day.
Girl had a mission.
Yeah. And this was like my birthday week too. So every year that comes by, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, this is my anniversary of like
Yeah.
living my best life and
Yeah.
learning to open up. But Scott was the second man that I swiped right on. He was like my second or third date.
No way.
And so yeah, and then he became a life partner. But we started actually dating a couple, and if you can't see me, I'm air quoting because we knew that I wasn't going to be sleeping with the men, but I was so used to like dating men, and I was definitely into women, but I wasn't sure like long term, could I want to be sexual with women? I don't really fucking know.
Yeah.
So we kind of started with this parallel play idea. So if we date another couple and, the girls can play together, and then if we want to like fuck each other next to each other on a couch, we can, and it could be fun. And
Yeah.
then we realized quickly that the husband was really into me, but I couldn't do anything with him. And like, I really started to kind of just start to develop some feelings because I'm polyamorous and I love everybody. And
Yeah.
so then there was that. And then Scott was like, I feel like when we do have sex and they're in the same room, they're like staring at us. And I feel like I'm on display. And like, I don't want to have to, I don't like that feeling. I don't want to do that anymore. And so that kind of quickly shut down us
Mm.
dating couples. So I was like, okay, cool. How are we going to change our dynamic then? Let's try something else. So we tried just dating a woman together, and that
Mhm.
was really fun. And it was my first sexual experiences with a woman, and learning, hey, I really like this, but there's something I'm just not, let's try something else. And we tried another person. And so it took us a little while, I think, to get to
Yeah.
this. We've tried dating married women. That's actually
Yeah.
goes really well for us because then they go home to their own life and their own husband, and
Yeah.
we see them, in between. It's kind of like a little vacation for her, and it's fun for us. We've dated single women. Right now, our girlfriend of over 8 months actually started being married. She was married, and then they're getting divorced. So now she's single, and she's just, only dating us. So that's fun. And one thing
So
I
fun.
didn't mention within our dynamic is while we date together, within the next, I don't know, month or so, whenever it starts to feel comfortable for everybody, we break into our own individual dyad relationships. So we start as a
Mm.
throuple, and then I have a relationship with her. Scott has a relationship with her. We see her by ourselves as well as together because I
Okay,
think
so
it's
you
really
go on
important.
dates
Yeah, we go on dates. Yeah,
and
we
develop your
even have
own.
overnights with her. So our current situation is she lives 2 hours away, and so she'll come down and have a throuple sexy threesome night with us, and we'll have breakfast with her the next morning, and then she'll go
Mhm.
back home. And then twice a month, once I'll go up and have an overnight with her. And sometimes we go out and we go to a drag show or we go to dinner or we just stay in
Yeah.
and watch trash TV and fuck each other and go to bed, and then I leave, and then we do kind of the opposite where I'll send Scott up there, and then he'll get a hotel room and they'll have fun, and then he comes home. So because I think it's important that, yes, she's dating a couple, but she also has a relationship with me. I'm
Yes.
very different than Scott, and he's very different than me, and so she kind of gets like a 3-in-1 in one relationship.
It's like win-win for her,
Mm,
for all
hopefully.
of you.
Yes.
So, I mean, this sounds absolutely amazing, and it's like, well, why the fuck not? Right? Like, w
Mm,
what I mean, I'm sure when people first come to you, they have all sorts of concerns, right? Like,
yeah.
what will people think? What if people find out
Hmm.
what we're doing? How do we have the conversations with, I don't know, family member? Do family members need to know? I mean, do you guys keep this, pretty tightly under wraps? Um, are you, I don't know, are you open? Do you have a close knit group of friends who understand your lifestyle? Like, my mission is to like bring this out from the shadows.
Hmm. Well,
And
so is mine. That's why I have a
of course.
podcast called the
Yeah.
Open Bedroom
Right.
Podcast, where I not only talk about my sex life and my partners come on, but it's video. So like people see my face
Right.
and know my name and I'm out
Yes.
there. So I agree with you. And that's not for everybody. So just like I'm
Yeah.
saying, this is really not a one size fits all thing. It's a what works best for you and your partner. For us, I am very public about everything in our relationship, including really hard stuff. I've created
Yeah.
podcasts about needing to take a break from an open relationship and what that looks
Mm,
like. Or
mm.
we had a partner who we'd been dating for 4 or 5 months. She broke up with us via text. She was in her late 20s, and I was like, never again are we
Yeah.
doing
No.
20-year-olds.
Yeah.
But she broke up with us in a text, and we had just spent like a long weekend with her in Dallas, and I was like ready to tell her that I loved her, and she broke up with
Oh,
us in a text and said, hey, I know we live in a small community. If you see me at Walmart, you can wave across the parking lot, but was like, don't talk to me, and never explained why. It was a whole thing. And I talked about that on
wow.
the podcast. But all of my partners aren't the same. Scott's not shouting from the rooftops that he's in an open relationship, but he also doesn't hide it.
Yeah.
So of course, my family knows because I'm very open and public about this, but not all my clients are and not all my friends are.
Right.
My friend group has become almost exclusively E&M community people because I
Mm.
find them to be like more like me and
Yes.
very unashamed. And I have a lot of coach friends and therapist friends that really
Yes.
support people in this space, or that are doing really cool sexual body work and tantra
Mm.
experiences for clients. Like that's who I want in my world. I
Yes.
am no longer willing to hide parts of me to make them feel
Mm.
comfortable. So the
Amen.
people that I had to do that for just fell away because I'm too much for them now, and that's
Right.
fine. However, again, I want to be really sensitive to people who don't want their family members to know and don't want their kids to know. And we don't flash it to our kids. We have our experiences when they're with their dad, and we have
Yes.
50-50 custody. So I have a lot of time to get to be my open, fun self, but also be
Yes.
a, focused mom when I have them. So I would say do what works best for you. And if you want to have something that's quiet and that's the secret fun thing that you and your husband share, do it. If you want to be open and go have throuple dates in the community like I do, and you don't fucking care, go do
Do it.
that.
Do that.
Yeah. And to me, being open and like you, it encourages other people because they see people in thruples or people in quads or people in I hosted a Thanksgiving last year and invited the husbands. Like it was a very kitchen table Thanksgiving, and then we invited
Mm.
the girlfriends to have a really fun orgy afterwards. It was a fun
Oh my God.
Friendsgiving
Best
orgy.
Thanksgiving
It was
ever.
fucking amazing. And then they all spent the night, and then we went out to breakfast, and then they went home. So you get to create what works for you.
Yeah. So what would you say are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people making when they
Yes.
start dipping their toe into this open relationship world?
Okay. Here's where I want to call out. I have a free guide because
Yes.
what I'm about to say is probably going to feel a little bit overwhelming, but I have it all in a guide, and Natty has it in the notes below.
Yeah.
I have a free opening up guide. So the first thing that I have as a big call out as a no-no is when you decide that you want an open relationship, do not just walk up to your partner and be like, "Hey, I want to be open." It's really jarring.
Mm.
Usually, let me start with like, we're in relationships because of polarity. You guys have listened to Natty enough. You understand
Mm.
polarity. We are different. We are opposite. And so typically there's one partner who is kind of like you and me, like voyeur and excited and interested and open and like, oh, I'm going to read all the books and do all the things and I'll try that. And then we're partnered to someone more conservative and more monogamous and more traditional. And so you don't want to like scare off or traumatize your traditional partner because
Mm.
you decided today that you're going to have an open relationship after you listen to our podcast.
Great advice.
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is educate yourself first.
Mm.
Read the books, listen to the podcast episodes that I have in the guide, watch a video, do some things, watch some shows, like really start to understand what is it that I want and why is it that I want this? Am
Mm.
I bored? Am I craving something different? Has this always been inside of me? Have I always found myself maybe drawn to more people and wanting to be, to love more people, be in relationship with more people, have sex with more people? Like, I don't know. Have I had this like midlife revelation that I'm a huge, giant sexual being and I have all this, like kind of
Huzzah!
figure out your why. And then when you go through the guide, several of the episodes are not just mine, but other people's, and they'll help you kind of guide the conversation that you want to have
Mm.
with your partner in a really loving, safe way. And
Mm.
then give them space. Give them space and time to do their own research. This could be a year-long process. And then outside of that, start really slowly. There are so many ways that you can play with being open or play with being adventurous that don't land you in, Natty, like you mentioned, a sex club
Mhm.
where everyone around you is fucking each other. Like you don't
Right?
have to start there. Start with, and not only that, harness this sexual energy, like harness the yumminess of it. Draw it
Mm.
out as long as you can. Think of it as like foreplay,
Mm.
and
I
do
love
these
this.
things that get you so turned
And
on
bring
that you
that into the bedroom, into your current
yes,
bedroom. Like, that is so
yes,
fun. That
until
is
you're
so, so
both
fun.
100% a fuck yes.
Yeah.
Let's go to that sex club, but let's just watch. Like,
Mm.
let's watch and then harness that energy and bring it back home. And we
Mm.
can talk about that couple that did that thing that would really turned us on, or we could role play into, the orgy room. And well, what if that was you in the middle of it? How do we feel? Having those experiences and
Mm.
those conversations are going to help you also define what is the dynamic that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, has your wife always wanted a sacred gangbang, because that is a
Mhm.
thing where she gets to make a list of all the things she's always wanted to try, and he pre-vets all the men, and he holds that sacred masculine space and lets her just get her brains railed out. And happy birthday. There you go. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just so many different ways to do
Happy
this.
birthday.
Do it with love and compassion and care for the person that's loved you for a really fucking long time.
I mean, that is like the beauty of all of this. And like I want to speak to this directly, Jennifer, because I work I mean really specifically with very high achieving women. So, women who, professors at very prestigious, like the most prestigious universities in the country. Um, financial mavens, people who
Mhm.
CEOs, physicians, um, women who have achieved so much in their life. And these very same classy ladies are exploring and diving into open relationships. So there is this stigma attached to polyamory that you know it- that it's dirty or yucky or low class, or what is the word you used in our earlier conversation? I forget what the word you used, but like something that speaks to like it being kind of lowbrow.
Mhm.
But it is an exploration of our bodies, and the word you used about like the sacredness of it. And to be in a relationship, to have that, like the beautiful stability of like a long-term partner like you and Scott, to have that yummy, loving, grounded connection, and to explore your sexuality in a myriad of ways. Like, could there be anything more beautiful in this world? Like, I don't know. So, this is just, I want our listeners to really open your mind. We're not saying, this is for you or it's not for you, but really, um, sit up and look around and open your mind and your heart to potentially exploring this or receiving this wisdom that Jennifer is sharing with us today. Thoughts, Jennifer?
No, I love that. I think it's great. I guess I'll add that sometimes we discover as we start to peel back the onion that there's certain things that we want to try, or there's
Mm.
certain fetishes that we might have.
Hmm.
I mentioned FetLife earlier.
Yeah.
If you don't know what FetLife is, it's kind of like the Facebook for BDSM and sexual exploits, and it's fascinating. It's a feed of all kinds of fun, random sexual things happening. Like, you can post your own homemade video. You can post a foot fetish that you have. You can post a long form story about whatever is happening in your life. And it's been a really interesting space for me to go and explore what other people are into. I'm a voyeur like you, and I love to watch. And so it's a fun platform for me to see, well, wait, what is that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And it's like, it kind of turns me on. I'll
Mm.
give you an example. This kind of embarrasses me to talk about, but there's someone that I follow who has an OnlyFans, and he's like a porn star, but he does a lot of like ragdoll porn, which a lot of
Oh.
women actually want. So basically, imagine being just fucking taken. You're just a
Well,
fucking doll.
well,
I'm
I
gonna
know so many
pound
women who
you,
just want to be
right?
taken, Jennifer. Seriously, if I had $1 for every woman that told me, I swear to God, the exact same scene from Roadhouse where Patrick Swayze like slams this woman against the wall and like
Oh,
takes
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I,
We
I,
want that
in 5 years
deep
of
inside.
yeah, in 5 years of coaching, I mean, so many women have talked about that one movie scene, and that's what they
So
want.
let's take that for example, right?
Yeah.
So you guys get what we're saying. Like someone's pulling your hair or choking you and just fucking the shit out of you. Okay. We all want this somewhere deep inside of us. Well, that's not
We
true about
swear,
all of us.
ladies, we swear you want this somewhere deep inside. I swear.
So my partner is very, if we're talking about erotic blueprints, I mentioned Ian and Jaya, he's very
Mhm.
sensual and energetic. So
Mm,
I have to connect with him energetically and I have
mm,
to touch him all throughout the day for
mm,
him to want to have sex with me. Usually
mm,
we look at women and we go, women are like this. Women are like a long burn and I gotta like make eyes at her and then I gotta touch her and then she's gonna finally be turned on. Well, this is my Scott. I
mm,
am very highly sexual. I'm like the guy. I like to see sex, like the actual penetration turns me on.
mhm.
And I like energetic too. And I'm very sensual. I'm kind of all of the things. But um, the reason I'm bringing this up is your partner might not want to do the things that you discover you really want to try. So my
Yeah.
partner will not do impact play with me. He will not treat me like a rag doll. He is not into tantra, like that's weird.
Yeah.
He's not into primal play. So I'm just telling you things
Mm,
that he's not because
yeah.
well, if he's not going to do it, how am I going to ever explore it? So, one of the
Right.
benefits to being in a polyamorous relationship is I've discovered that some of the women that we've dated are actually into some of this. So, I have a
Mm,
girlfriend named Steph that Scott and I were in a triad for over a year. And now her and I have been dating for a total of 2 years, very into primal play, very into
mm,
being a dominatrix with me, very much into toy play. And so when I get to have a one on one with her, our sex is incredibly different than I have sex with Scott, which is very sensual and
mm.
um, lots of energy exchanges and massages and tons of fingering. Like Scott's fucking amazing in bed. And Steph is gonna like primal play with me around the bedroom and
We
chase
have
me. And
so many
I
desires. Like,
know.
what I'm hearing is like, you're just basically a kid in a candy store right now. You're just
Yes.
like, oh my God, what are all these things that I desire? What are, all of this is available to me. And I get to just go out and get it.
Yeah. And we call it play. We call
It
this
is
play
play.
sessions. We'll say, do you want to have a play session? It's like being in the sandbox. And instead of
Yes.
toys, we're playing with our genitals and toys, like our own adult toys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've realized too, like, there's this part of us that doesn't get to play and doesn't get
Mm,
to explore. We don't allow ourselves that permission.
yeah.
And when you unlock this like, God, toy box full of possibilities. It is
Mm,
so fucking empowering. Yeah.
mm.
Do you know that opening scene from Billions? Have you
No,
seen
no, no,
Billions?
no. I haven't. So many people have told me though. What's the opening scene from Billions?
Okay. The very opening scene is the prosecuting attorney for the United States. I think that's his role. He is like one of the highest ranking like generals. And then he's laying on the floor. I think he's handcuffed. I think he has a gag in. And this dominatrix is on top of him and she has her heel, I think, on his ball sack. She takes her cigarette and puts it out on his chest. And he's like having an orgasm. And I was like, oh my,
You're like,
what,
this is it.
what is this? What is happening right here?
You're like,
But
favorite show.
it's interesting how this kind of stuff is becoming more public and
Yeah.
it's showing up in our shows and it's showing up in our movies.
Mm,
Um, what was the latest Nicole Kidman movie that just came
baby
out?
girl.
Baby Girl. So yeah, like it's
I mean,
okay to
yes, I'm so glad you're talking about this because this is like what was once subculture is
Mhm,
coming to the surface. I mean, the book All Fours by Miranda July, excellent book. The movie Baby Girl. I mean,
mhm,
it is coming to the forefront. And, of course, we're all like watching and
mhm,
learning. And it's thankfully becoming mainstream. This, it's not even a notion. The very truth of the fact is that we have like limitless desire and we have been so shut down and told to follow this very narrow path of what we're allowed to have and allowed to experience. And it's people like you, Jennifer, that are like pulling back the curtain and saying, oh, wait, there's more. You can have all of this. This is what's available to you. So I'm like bowing down to you.
Yeah, I think it all starts with permission.
Yeah.
Giving yourself permission to explore, to
Mm-hmm.
open that door, even if it's a tiny little peek,
Yeah.
right? And the little
Yes.
peek could be you and your husband watching some kind of porn that you've never watched before,
Yeah.
like
Logging
bringing
on
it
to
into
FetLife.
that bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Logging on to FetLife by yourself and just
Yeah.
going, what is available to me? It doesn't even have to be FetLife. There's so many different. I love Balesa. It's
I
a
don't know,
porn
Belessa.
site. It's a porn site run by women, created
Mm.
for women, and everything is consensual. So there's even
Yes.
types of porn within the site that has its own categories that you can watch the consent conversation happen,
Mm.
and then they have a
Yes.
scene.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
really,
number
really
of
hot.
these now. There's one that I subscribe to. It's like not Ever Eve, but I forget the name of it. But like it's just a beautiful thing, right? You know that what you're
Mhm.
watching is consensual, is healthy, is all parties involved are happy and having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And then playing with like, is audio porn my thing? Do I really get turned
Mm.
on by audio? And a lot of these, they'll have, the visual shows and you can just listen. They also have long form writing. Maybe you want
Mm.
to read
Like
it. Like
erotica.
if you haven't discovered smut and erotica, Lord, you should go play in that world because it will really. I thought I had. I've been reading Nora Roberts for like 20 years, and then
Oh,
I
baby,
had a
that's nothing.
I know. I went to this conference called the Smut Lovers Conference that's for writers of erotica, and
Mhm.
it was in Florida. And it's really a cool conference because they teach the writers what's actually happening behind a scene, and then they
Mm.
can write it truthfully. They can write
Mm.
about needle play, they can write about
Mm.
cutting, they can write about the shit that you see in your books. Like they're like, let's write it in a way that's true and that has safety built into it. So anyway, it was a
Mm.
really cool conference, but I walked away with a bunch of like free smut books, and oh my God, it's led me down this tunnel of like, oh my God. My whole
Jennifer,
Instagram feed is like all just memes of like sexy erotica books. And you're like the mom at the soccer game, like no one
you're like,
has
"Hey,
any
guys,
idea.
I'm on my Kindle." You are a breath of fresh air. I want every single woman who listens to this to dive into your world. We are going to put every link to your work, to your guide, to your Instagram, to everything in the show notes. Listeners, please dip your toe in if you're curious, or just DM Jennifer on Instagram. If you just want to connect with her personally, she's super open and super great. That's how I got to know her, actually. I sent her a love note, a
I
voice
loved
note
it.
on Instagram, and she is just the fucking coolest. So, Jennifer, is there anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Hmm. I hope that you don't get the impression that I want you to have an open relationship.
Mm,
What I want to leave you with is curiosity and permission. Get curious about what you might want to try, and you have full permission to start to explore, even if it's in your own mind. Go get
mm,
educated. If you are curious about being in an open relationship, download my guide. Please don't just go to your partner. And then give your relationship permission to just explore a little bit, have fun, and then see where that takes you. See where it takes your
mm,
love life. See where it takes your marriage. See how it can deepen who you are as a human.
mm. Yeah, what I'm hearing is go slow your roll. Get
Yeah.
curious and slow your roll.
Yeah.
I love
Stay in
it.
the foreplay as long as you
Yeah.
can.
Oh, I love you, Feminine Rebellion listeners. That was Jennifer Callow. She is the bomb. Love you all madly. Until next week, peace out.